Arc 9 has ended and Arc 10 is right around the corner. And what if I told you, I'm pretty sure I know all of the twists that Tappei will introduce. And by watching this video, you'll be very well informed on the next arc of ReZero. And I'm going to mention things you might never have thought about, especially if you haven't played ReZero Prophecy of the Throne. So let's address the elephant in the room, Filore, who seems to be Filore Lugunica. Now, many people know that when the disease spread around the royal capital and the royal family, all of the members of Lugunica perished, except for one, a girl that was abducted and was taken away. This was of course Filore Lugunica, and we learned in Arc 9 that Felt is indeed Filore Lugunica. At least it's implied that she is. For example, Rom was given Felt by a man with golden hair and red eyes, so of course a member of the Lugunican royal family. Felt's name is fake, and when Laibatin Kaitos tried to eat her, it failed. Not only that, her side stories are always called the Golden Lion and the Sword Saint. The Golden Lion of course represents the King of Lugunica. Not only that, Volcanica called her Farcel Lugunica. There's so many references that Filore, the one introduced in Arc 9 finale, obviously cannot be the real Filore, and she is in fact an imposter. Most people believe that this person is Capella in disguise. However, I think that's a bit too easy. I think this is going to be a new character, namely someone we've met before in a video game. This of course is a Melty priestess that was in ReZero Prophecy of the Throne. Now some people might say, well Jake, this character is non-canon, so it cannot be her. But we do know from a talk show that Tappei has specifically said that he wanted to include her in the main storyline along with a character called Tiga. And I think that this person is actually Melty in disguise. The first thing to talk about is that Melty, like Filore, is from the Dragon Church. In fact, you'll notice that their clothing is pretty much the exact same and that they both wear the same pendant. So why do I think that Filore is going to be Melty rather than Capella in disguise? And that's because of what's happened in ReZero Prophecy of the Throne. For those that don't know the premise of the game, the idea is that there are 6 royal candidates instead of 5. And the prophecy states that there will be 5 candidates, meaning that one of them is an imposter. As you can imagine, because we've all watched the anime, the imposter is Melty. So we get introduced to the Dragon Church and we get introduced to other characters, which you can see on screen, and as I've been talking, Tiga and Sakura Element. What we find out is that all of these characters work underneath Mama. Now, for those of you that know, Mama is of course Capella, the Sin Archbishop of Lost. So I do think Capella will be involved, but she will indeed be a background character until, I'm assuming, the end of the arc, and that's when she will appear. I don't think she'll appear right at the start as Filore because it's simply too risky. So why do I think that this is Melty? And there's something I've located that many other people don't know. Now, for those that haven't played the game, Melty is a member of the Evil Eye tribe. So if you guys have read the EX novels, you'll know that Melinda is a member of the Evil Eye tribe, and also Pelagio, who was in Arc 8, that Todd killed as well. So why is this important? Because in the story of Prophecy of the Throne, she has something called the Evil Eye of Indoctrination. And essentially, in the video game, she uses it on Subaru, which makes Subaru not suspect her as an imposter. And so Subaru will trust her and sort of utilize everything in his power to help her. So what does this have to do with Arc 10? What does this have to do with Filore? Because I've noticed something very important in the chapter that Tappei released. For Melty to use her Evil Eye of Indoctrination, she needs to touch someone, usually by holding their hand. So let's read the ending of the chapter together. So again, Felix is expressing doubt because of course Lady Krush might get hurt again, and then Filore gives a sort of idiom which stuns Felix, but then what happens is as Felix is processing this and the emotions are starting to rile up in him, we notice that Filore touches his hand. And then afterwards, it seems that Felix seems to be open to the idea of helping, because she's also talking and sort of subduing him. So if this is Melty, who has the evil eye of indoctrination, she has just now made contact with Felix, and now Felix will pretty much do what she wants him to do, and it's game over for Felix. And that's the reason why I feel like Tappei has went this route, by introducing a character that is similar to Melty, but playing it off as, oh, it could be Capella, it could be someone else. But look, I'm going to make this very clear. In the coming chapters, I want you guys to be very aware of who Filore touches and their mannerisms. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. But some of you might say, oh, she looks different. We know in rezero Prophecy of the Throne, Capella changed Melty's body so that she can't actually eat food. She doesn't have an esophagus. She cannot swallow food. Not only that, her third evil eye, which is on her palm, is hidden because of Capella's authority. So Capella could easily change someone to look like someone else. So I think this is indeed Melty. Now I want to move on to something else which is really interesting, and it involves Rem and potentially getting back her memories. We also have Rem's future trial line. I believe praying to ask for a favor is arrogant. Prayer should be seeking forgiveness. So obviously this seems to be something that might happen this arc, because it's based around the Dragon Church and praying. This idea that praying for salvation and you'll get help. So one thing I do want to talk about quickly is that Filore, I feel like this might be like the arc for Ryuzu Shima situation, where there's multiple copies, where one version of Filore could be Melty in disguise, but also Capella. So maybe Capella might heal Krush, and Subaru, seeing that Krush is fine, might talk about praying to the church, and this is where Rem will say, look, I believe praying is arrogant, because that's why Subaru would pray, right? He would pray to the church for a favor to save Rem and give Rem back her memories. But I don't think it will happen, because the memories issue was caused by gluttony, whereas Krush was affected by lust. So if Filore is lust in this case, she can of course heal Krush. But anyways, those are my thoughts. I'm pretty sure I've gotten everything, and hopefully this video will be very informative for you. Anyways, I'm going to make a video on Arc 9 next, so look forward to that video.